Okay, 7:29. Thank you, everyone, for being here this year for the beginning of our academic year 2025 to 2026. So I want to welcome all of you who are here in person and also everyone who's here online. And really thank you for coming out in whatever form to our first university rounds of this new academic year. So just as many of us use the calendar new year as an occasion to reflect, we in the academic community pause for a moment at the beginning of September to review where we've been, where we are now, and what we hope to accomplish in the coming year. But first, let me take a moment to acknowledge that the land upon which we are meeting today was for thousands of years the traditional homelands of many Indigenous peoples, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabeg. Today, this land continues to be the home of Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we acknowledge the historical injustices done to them and seek to do better in our relationships with them and with this land. So, where do we stand right now? Those of you who've been to the Stewart Building, maybe a minority, will have recognized it as the location of the University Department of Surgery's central offices. It sits across College Street from the Medical Sciences Building at the south end of the St. George campus of the University of Toronto, where the central offices of the Temerty Faculty of Medicine are housed. To the west, the expansion of the medical school at the University of Toronto in Mississauga continues. And to the east, the Scarborough campus is now home to another branch of U of T Temerty Faculty of Medicine. Over the next few years, enrollment of students at all three campuses will continue to increase as we attempt to meet the healthcare needs of the growing population of the GTA. In July of 2024, Dr. Lisa Robinson began her first term as Dean of our Faculty of Medicine. It's a massive enterprise that includes basic science departments such as biochemistry, institutes such as the Institute of Medical Sciences, and 12 clinical departments. At an all-day retreat in June of 2025, my fellow clinical chairs and I discussed with the dean and her vice deans our relationship with the Temerty Faculty of Medicine. Why? Well, you may have noticed there's a new medical school in town. This fall marks the beginning of their medical education for 94 new students at Toronto Metropolitan University, TMU. In fact, the Dean of TMU School of Medicine, Dr. Teresa Chan, was our guest at the Department of Surgery Faculty Day this past November. We focused on how our University of Toronto Department of Surgery faculty and learners might interact with those at the TMU school, which was highly relevant since in July of 2025, TMU simultaneously launched postgraduate programs in 9 specialties with 105 new residents beginning their training. This includes 2 newly minted general surgery residents, and with our colleague, UHN vascular surgeon George Oriopoulos, serving as their program director for surgical foundations. Next up will be a new medical school at York University set to launch in 2028. After 138 years as the only show in town, the University of Toronto Faculty of Medicine, very good, is having an interesting time reacting to the presence of these new kids on the block. That's for the house staff, just explaining. How should we adjust, adapt, perhaps even redefine ourselves? The TMU School of Medicine has been busy defining itself in contrast to U of T. But what is our identity? And how do we define ourselves in relation to our near neighbors across Ontario? I've now had the privilege of reviewing the surgical programs at some of these, and it has given me a fresh perspective on us, who we are, and what we contribute. When we describe ourselves to prospective residents, fellows, and faculty members, what do we tell them distinguishes the Department of Surgery at the University of Toronto? Here's my own initial and partial list. You can probably think of some more features. Our Department of Surgery comprises the Division of Anatomy, plus 8 clinical divisions that have stuck together through thick and through thin: cardiac surgery, general surgery, neurosurgery, orthopedic surgery, plastic reconstructive and aesthetic surgery, thoracic surgery, urology, and vascular surgery. Our Department of Surgery includes the fully affiliated sites: Hospital for Sick Children, Sinai Health, St. Michael's Unity Health, Sunnybrook, University Health Network TGH, and University Health Network Toronto Western, as well as the partially affiliated sites: Humber River, Michael Garron, North York General, St. Joseph's Unity Health, plus our ever-expanding interactions with Trillium Health and the Scarborough Health Network, making for a massive interconnected network of hospitals, hospital foundations, and research institutes. We not only provide excellent specialized surgical care at all of these sites, we also provide every type of quaternary surgical care imaginable, together acting as a referral center for Ontario's and Canada's most complex patient problems. Not only that, but we also collaborate across our member institutions and hospitals to ensure that the population of the Greater Toronto Area receives the most up-to-date, evidence-based, and timely surgical care that can be provided anywhere the world over. This collaborative spirit is codified in the purpose statement and strategic priorities of the Toronto Academic Health Sciences Network, or TASN, a collective voice we should all be aware of and support. In particular, I would like to acknowledge the impactful work being done by the members of the Toronto Region Surgical Planning and Coordination Table, led by Rue Tagger and Fayez Qureshi, and including representatives from Ontario Health, surgeons-in-chief, and senior leadership from the surgical programs across the TASN. Together, this group has worked not only to ensure recovery after the pandemic, but also the implementation of more rational approaches to the delivery of surgical care. This is based on collaborative partnerships that transcend conventional interinstitutional barriers, leveraging the exponential power of strength in numbers. At the same time, we are an integral part of the largest medical school in Canada. Surgeons play an important role in delivering both the central and the distributed curriculum to MD program students. I want to thank Jory Simpson for his leadership in fostering a welcoming, inclusive, and dynamic learning environment for all medical students, regardless of their future career aspirations. And thank you to Rong Chen, who organizes the students' rotations and assessments with tenderness and understanding. To further help demystify surgery and surgeons for these students, Haya Schwartz has developed a clerkship prep course held at the Missionary Institute that gets students actively involved and engaged so that that first day of their surgical rotation isn't quite so daunting. Our core group of education leaders includes, in addition to Jory, Najma Ahmed, Moji Hodai, Ralph George, Stan Hamstra, and Mark Wheatcroft, who is Program Director for Surgical Foundations. In that role, Mark welcomes all of the new PGY1s in all of the surgical disciplines and organizes an orientation program for them each July. They are then shepherded through their residency training by our dedicated program directors, Saif Brar, Jeremy Hall, Elisa Greco, Nir Lipsman, Kyle Wanzel, Jonah Krakowski, Bobby Yanagawa, and Laura Donahoe. Around each of these individuals is a team of associate and assistant PDs, competency committee chairs, and staff members who coordinate rotation schedules, assessment processes, academic half days, research and graduation days, and etc. It truly does take a village. With the breadth and depth of clinical subspecialty experience available here at the University of Toronto, it's no wonder we attract hundreds of clinical fellows from all over Ontario, Canada, and all over the world. We warmly welcome these fellows who make such an important contribution to clinical care and resident education at our annual summer barbecue held at Hart House. Thanks to our postgrad education team, Violetta, Helen, and Michelle for organizing and joining us. To signal how much we value clinical teaching, we present annual departmental awards to those nominated and selected by their peers for their outstanding contributions as educators. And here you see the recipients who were recognized at the Gordon Murray Dinner in May 2025. The expansion of many of our residency programs, together with the appointment of a new cadre of teaching faculty at affiliated community sites, has created a variety of challenges and opportunities. To handle these, the Department of Surgery has appointed a couple of grizzled senior figures. I see one over there. To new roles, Georgia Azzi to coordinate simulation-based training, and Dave Zaley as coordinator for expansion and outreach. And we have a new staff member, project coordinator Dennis Tsang, who will assist with managing the added need for coaching and assessment of both learners and teachers. I want to acknowledge the critical role that part-time and adjunct faculty members play in training our residents and in teaching medical students the principles of surgery. Here is a list of those newly appointed over the past academic year. These faculty members are valued partners in the education mission, and I very much appreciate the commitment to collaboration shown by each of the surgeons-in-chief at our affiliated sites. They bring a distinct and important perspective to our regular surgeon-in-chief meetings. If you've been keeping track, you've probably noticed there is one item on the list of our distinguishing features that I haven't even mentioned yet. I think Dr. Fillings is aware of it. Just wait for it. In June of 2025, US News released its rankings of universities around the world. Overall, the University of Toronto placed number 16, but the U of T Department of Surgery placed number 4, number 3 in North America, and number 1 in Canada. I'll just let that sink in for a minute. The inquiring minds amongst you will wonder about the basis for this ranking. Well, here you go. It's based on research productivity as judged by publications, citations, and reputation. I've always been a bit skeptical about this, but 2 recent experiences have changed my thinking. Our division of cardiac surgery recently underwent an external review at the completion of Terry Yao's first 5-year term as chair of the division. The reviewers, Paul Fedak and Kevin LaChapelle, described the division in glowing terms, particularly emphasizing its position as a research powerhouse. They specifically called out the sustained productivity of surgeon scientists Steve Freems and Subodh Verma, who are internationally renowned for their scholarly contributions and impact. Enabling the research excellence of the division's faculty, while at the same time fostering clinical excellence, are the division heads of the 4 hospital sites, Maral Ozunian, Gideon Cohen, Asami Hanjo, and Bobby Yanagawa. The balancing of clinical and academic agendas takes a special kind of dedication and maturity, which these individuals consistently display. And by the way, Dr. Yao has been reappointed for a second term, which is great news for the division he leads so effectively. When our erstwhile neurosurgery division chair, Galare Zadeh, was recruited to lead the Department of Neurosurgery at the Mayo Clinic in late 2024, we undertook an external review of the neurosurgery division at the University of Toronto. The reviewers, Sheila Singh and Robin Richards, extolled the virtues of a neurosurgery division that literally rules the world in terms of research productivity and impact. It's number 3 overall globally, but number 1 for productivity over the past 5 years. I hesitate to point out any particular stars in the academic neurosurgical firmament, since so many of them shine very brightly, and because I'm going to hear from whoever feels that I unjustly neglected them at about 0831. Let's just say it's a ridiculously accomplished group. And again, I want to salute the division heads at the 4 hospitals for their ability to effectively lead their diverse groups of clinical titans and academic superstars. Of note, the Division of Neurosurgery is particularly blessed with a strong commitment to rigorous research training for its postgraduate trainees. The majority of neurosurgery residents enter the surgical scientist training program, and I thank Mari and Jim Rutka for their visionary generosity in making this possible. Which leads me to the next segment of my address that focuses on what key aspect truly distinguishes the University of Toronto Department of Surgery. The commitment to discover and share new knowledge, which all of our faculty members across all of the institutions subscribe to. I can flat out tell you that surgical leaders and departments at other universities wonder how we achieve the research productivity we do. Being here, you might be taking some of these things for granted, but I'm going to tell you how we do it. It begins, and it must begin, with a shared vision, a belief in the academic mission, which comprises discovery, translation, and implementation of knowledge, with a purpose of improving patient outcomes and population health. A recognition of the need to not just observe, but to understand why. However, shared belief is not sufficient for success. The work needs to be valued and supported. We do this from the very beginning of your career on faculty, even before it begins. Inherent to the earning of an advanced degree is gaining a perspective on how knowledge is generated, shared, and translated into action, giving you the capacity to actively participate in this process. Though the specifics of your memorandum of agreement may seem abstruse, they are there because we want to set you up for success. The mentorship agreement signed by both mentors and mentee exists for the same reason. This past academic year, we welcomed a cadre of full-time academic surgeons who are each eager to make their own contribution to the academic mission. And we do welcome them very sincerely to our midst and wish them every success. Formal first and second year reviews of progress and challenges are not there to be randomly onerous, but to ensure as much as possible that the required resources are present and being used. Designated mentors are expected to participate in these reviews, like a coaching council. And before you know it, you're 3 years in, and it's time for your continuing appointment review. At the Temerty Faculty of Medicine, clinical faculty don't become tenured. Instead, they're granted a comparable status of having a continuing appointment after a 3-year probationary period that requires annual performance reviews. The CAR is kind of a big deal. which I think the 11 faculty members who successfully passed their CAR this past academic year would agree with. Congratulations to each of you and to your mentors. And big congratulations to Tom Waddell, who this year won the Bryce Taylor Mentorship Award for helping early career faculty establish themselves over those first few stressful years. My sincere thanks for the dedication and hard work you put into each CAR goes to Ori Rothstein, who chairs each meeting, and Robin Richards, who synthesizes all of the teaching evaluations for each faculty member, and also, very importantly, Renuma Raman, who assembles all of the many documents required and schedules these reviews. Once you're past that milestone, you're officially heading into mid-career territory with all its trials and tribulations, opportunities, and achievements. For full-time faculty, we continue to formally assess academic performance every year, which is why we pester you with the requests for your publications, invited talks, awards received, grants captured, etc. In response to your feedback, we've just recently changed the assessment period to the academic year rather than the calendar year. My annual AAP meetings with each of your hospital division heads, surgeons in chief, and university division chairs will now occur in the fall. As you can imagine, taken together, your reported academic activities generate mountains of information. Way too many publications and way too many grants to share in this format. Just to give you an idea of the volume of information, this is the list of awards received by our faculty members over a 1-year period. All of the information you submit does get reviewed at our annual AAP meetings and included in our annual Department of Surgery report. Plus, we are now uploading your new publications and grants to our website in real time. So please just flip us any news via email. Speaking of big news, I want to make sure you all know that 4 of our faculty members were promoted to the rank of associate professor as of July 1, 2025. Congratulations to Drs. Davidge, Simpson, Witu, and Wong. And based on sustained academic achievement associated with internationally recognized impact, promoted to full professor were Drs. Hamilton, Bazunian, and Lipa. The process involved in achieving senior academic promotion is an arduous one, not undertaken lightly, but it recognizes scholarly contributions that benefit all of us, and so warrants our attention and appreciation. Congratulations, Rob, Morel, and Joan. And huge thanks to our departmental promotions committee members who have for the past 5 years been led by Earl Bogosh, along with our dedicated staff member, Sylvia Perry. The work of valuing and prizing our peers' work is of the highest order. So thank you. Taking over from Earl as of April 2025, we're fortunate now to be led by Dr. Tony Zong, a longtime stalwart member of the Departmental Promotions Committee, who is now its chair. A heartfelt thank you to Tony for taking up this very significant role. In terms of academic achievement, our annual Galley Day provides a showcase for the amazing academic accomplishments of our Department of Surgery. Our 2025 Gordon Murray Lecturer, Dr. Leanne Feldman, who's the chair of surgery at McGill, was blown away by not only the volume, but also the caliber of research we're conducting here at the University of Toronto. Confidentially, she said that Harvard paled by comparison. I don't know if she says that wherever she goes as a visiting professor, but I believed her. We demonstrate the value we place on research productivity through the Department of Surgery Awards conferred at our annual academic day. This year, we recognized outstanding contributions by the following individuals: Kim Choi, Anna Dare, Jay Wonder, Catherine Saar, Kevin Ahn, and Andres Lozano, the latter for long-term mentorship of SSTP residents. I want to draw specific attention to the Surgeon Scientist Training Program as a feature that sets us apart from all the other surgical programs in North America and probably the world. SSTP residents are supported to step out of the clinical stream to complete a graduate degree or postdoctoral fellowship. As you can see, there are currently more than 35 residents in the SSTP at U of T. Our visiting professor is always so impressed by the caliber of the research and the quality of the presentations by our SSTP residents and students working with our surgeon scientists and scientists. It's always challenging to choose the award winners, but here they are for oral presentations and for poster presentations. Planning, organizing, and executing Galley Day is one of the principal functions of the research committee, which is chaired by Michael Failings and co-chaired by Andras Kapus. A special thank you to Renata Musa, who is our research program coordinator for the Department of Surgery, Asha Bedinan and Josef Ellenbogen for all of the hard work over the course of the year. Integrated but distinct from the research committee is our now well-established Innovation and Entrepreneurship Committee, which is led by Jas Shahal, with the very able assistance of staff member Joanna Giddens. The committee's aim is to make U of T a world leader in surgical innovation, while facilitating the career trajectory of individual surgeons and trainees. To that end, they have hosted some excellent webinars with dynamic, experienced speakers sharing their thoughts and advice. Our departmental innovation webpage has just gone live and offers a range of interactive functions and supports. Whether you are an accomplished surgical entrepreneur or just innovation curious, please check it out. On a related note, you may recall that our 2025 Galley Day Symposium focused on the application of AI to surgery and surgical training. It was a fitting time to debut our new award for surgical innovation, this year presented to Dale Podolsky. Furthermore, I have terrific news for our budding innovators and entrepreneurs. Thanks to the recently released positive results from a very long-term clinical trial, our steadfast surgical community members, Paul and Deborah Walker, have just now established a fund to support what will henceforth be named the Paul and Deborah Walker Award for Innovation in the Department of Surgery. Paul and Deborah, we are so grateful for your generosity and your belief in our department. Thank you to Kashaf Mansour and Jennifer Coe, who are also here this morning, for helping us to realize this landmark donation. We appreciate the work of the Office of Advancement at Temerity. Recall that on the list of essential enablers of the academic mission, I listed belief, value, and thirdly, support. The Walker Gift is an example of that kind of critical support. The generosity of alumni and grateful patients who want to give back to the University Department of Surgery makes what we do here possible. You probably have no idea of the number of endowed and term chairs and professorships that support our amazing faculty members in their quest for academic excellence. So I'm sharing here a list of the named chairs and present chair holders, as well as professorships that support early, mid-career, and senior faculty. These are the results of generous donations made to the university department and/or the fully affiliated hospital sites, including University Health Network. It's quite a lengthy list here. Sunnybrook and St. Michael's, Mount Sinai, and Sick Kids. We partner together to ensure the funds support worthy individuals who will put them to the best use to advance the science that underpins evidence-based surgical care. Here, I must acknowledge the dedication of the surgeons-in-chief at our fully affiliated sites, who invest their time and effort in overseeing every aspect of these hospital university name chairs and professorships. The relationship between the university and the hospitals is absolutely critical to the success of our academic mission, and I value the opportunity to express my gratitude to these visionary leaders. Francis, Tom, Najma, Ian, Dave, and Abaya, thank you. It's appropriate time to note that this past year we lost two legendary surgeons-in-chief, Lavina Lickley and Marv Tile. To provide you with some insight into their contributions, please see the tributes written by John Semple and Avery Nathans, respectively, on the Department of Surgery website. Earlier, I mentioned the SSTP as a feature that distinguishes us from virtually every other Department of Surgery on the planet. But this distinction doesn't come cheap. It requires a large financial commitment, as Jim Rutka knows very well. These SSTP residents successfully competed for coveted CIHR awards, and these won Ministry of Health Clinician Investigator Program awards. These residents won support through the Hold 'em for Life Oncology Fellowship Program. These received Reisman Family Scholarships to support their salaries. And these were supported by the Marian James Rutka SSTP Fund. It's through this manifest shared belief in supporting the academic leaders of tomorrow that we can run a program that is integral to who we are as an academic department. At this point, I want to acknowledge that in the majority of our divisions, individual faculty members, you, also pay a levy into their division chairs fund. This money is used specifically and intentionally to support academic activities within that division. Things like resident participation in national and international conferences, simulation workshops, divisional research and education evenings and awards, program director stipends, and etc. The levy enables and empowers the chair to successfully support the academic mission within their division. I want to thank our dedicated division chairs for the work they each do to bring their division members from across the city together into one tent, despite inter-institutional barriers. This is critical to allowing us to take advantage of our size as a university department to translate it into maximum impact. Now you'll have noticed there is someone missing from this slide. Tragically, we lost our well-beloved and respected Langer Chair, Sean Cleary, on Sunday, August 10th, 2025. Sean was such an accomplished and generous academic leader, and he was an especially staunch supporter of the academic mission. We are hosting an evening to remember him and what he meant to us this coming Monday at the University Club. All of you are most welcome to join us. Sean and I shared many common values, none more so than our pride in this department of surgery. And there is so much to be proud of. Over this past year, several members of our department have been recognized with major awards of merit that celebrate their cumulative contributions to society and academia. Homer Tien and Earl Bogosh were honored with Order of Canada medals, Neil Fleshner with an Arbor Award, and Jim Rutka with a CNSS Lifetime Achievement Award. 6 members of our department have been recognized with King Charles III coronation medals since the inception of this award, I guess at his coronation. Najma Ahmed, Charles Tatter, Homer Tien, Giuseppe Papia, Michael Failings, and Amit Atri. In a league of his own is Tyrone David, in whose honor our chair of cardiac surgery will be named. Tyrone was inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame and won the Lavina Lickley Award for lifetime contributions to our department, all in the same year. Congratulations, Tyrone. In other news, Sunnybrook intensivist Rob Fowler is the new director of the Interdepartmental Division of Critical Care Medicine, which is supported by the Departments of Medicine, Surgery, Anesthesia, and Pediatrics. Rob is keen to deepen and forge new ties with surgeons in our department, something you'll be hearing more about. The global surgery community at U of T has been very active over the past year. These updates are provided by Dr. Anna Dare, who is leading this disparate group of passionate individuals. They've been actively contributing on the ground and also to the literature with numerous publications, grants, and fellowships awarded. Their upcoming symposium focuses on the theme of partnerships in a changing world and features dynamic and inspiring keynote speaker, Teddy Tatume. All are welcome. We ran another successful Coaching the Coaches workshop for junior faculty this past June, with Chris Tarola taking over the helm from Amin Madani. Thank you to Joanna Giddens for intellectual and logistical support. At our social event focusing on the experience of being injured or ill whilst a practicing surgeon, 4 of our colleagues shared their stories, generating much discussion and validating the need for self-reflection and a generous acceptance of our limitations as humans. I also want to congratulate John Semple on convincing me that he could assemble a group of surgeons who would sign up for a program designed to explore their creativity. This actually happened through John's connections at OCAD. Ori, I'm sorry that you're not in the photo, but you didn't complete the program. What can I do? I believe the next cohort of budding creatives has already been allocated for this year's spots, and there's no more room. Is that right, John? Correct. Correct. Congratulations. Well done. Thanks to our department's card-carrying surgeon ethicist, Karen Devon, we benefited from Mary Simmerling's sometimes provocative insights on patient autonomy at the annual Balfour Lecture. I'm grateful to Karen for her ongoing engagement in provoking honest and sometimes difficult dialogue about challenging subjects. And what can be more challenging than to discuss with a surgeon their retirement from clinical practice? The Academy of Senior Surgeons Experiencing Transition, or ASSET group, led by Jack Langer, provides a forum for exactly that kind of difficult discussion, as well as acting as a critical resource for coaching, teaching, and senior leadership needs. And we call on this group all the time. Here you can see the ceremony and little celebration of Michael Schwartz's career at Sunnybrook. There are many others who've retired this year, and I think our list may be slightly incomplete, so I'm not going to document them all, but it is on the website. The lectures we featured over the 2024-25 series of university rounds were well received. We appreciate your presence and your feedback, and we would appreciate your suggestions for future speakers. For up-to-date information about this year's university rounds, please check our website, and you'll see that the next editions on Friday, October 3rd, we're going to hear from our Lister and George Armstrong Peters presenters. That would be Jay Wonder and Anna Dare, and that's at Mount Sinai Hospital in the auditorium. Please accept our calendar invites for Faculty Day on November 11th and for the holiday party on December 10th. Your whole family is invited to the latter, as usual. I'd like to thank the members of the Department of Surgery Executive Committee, Ori, Najma, Michael, Sarah, Avery, Stan, Tom, Shaf, and Robin, as well as Sylvia, for their ongoing support and sage advice. It really helps to have a cabinet of committed and experienced, I'm going to say, senior leaders to call upon and reflect with, because many of the problems that we face are thorny ones, and I greatly benefit from all of their insights. And of course, I want to thank the people who actually keep the show on the road. Nancy Kondo, our business manager, Kristen Parsonson, the finance administrator, and Chriselle Evangelista for her enthusiasm and endless pep. My special thanks to Sahar Gandor for not only being an outstanding communications officer, but also for her fabulous work in helping put this address together. She had a very calming influence on me. Sahar wants to hear from you if you have any news to share. She also wants me to announce that the Department of Surgery has come into the modern era and is on LinkedIn. If you're not getting our emails, please communicate with Sahar and she will ensure that you're on the listserv. And then finally, thank you for being here this morning. And my very best wishes to all of you for your success and satisfaction over the coming academic year. Thank you, everyone.
So